the hypocrisy of Trump saying he supports law enforcement except when they don't serve his purposes, like the Capitol Police on January 6th, is real. But I think it's still important that he went to the wing, because it's likely Officer Diller's killing would not have been covered at all, particularly in the left-leaning media, had he not gone. In fact, the officer's killing was not mentioned once on either CNN or MSNBC on its own. It was only covered in the context of Trump's visit. But as significant as that gesture could have been, Trump undermined it by making it purely political.
I support the police, I would say at the highest level of any president by far, maybe double or triple. And they knew that. That's why when I walked into that funeral parlor, it was like love.
Officer Diller's death should not be used as a political prop. I say this as someone who devotes much of my professional career to appreciating what police officers do for all of us every day. The point is that we have to judge everything Trump and Biden say and do individually, not sweeping with a broad brush. There's going to be so much noise between now and November, and on MSNBC and CNN and the left-leaning media, Trump can seemingly say nothing right. And on Fox and the right-leaning media, Trump seemingly can say nothing wrong. We, in what I call the marginalized moderate majority, know the truth lies somewhere in between. The left-leaning outlets can cry wolf. The right-leaning outlets can sweep everything under the rug. On this show, you can count on us to try to call out what really matters. And now you can call in and tell me why I'm wrong. But joining us now is Anthony Scaramucci, served as White House Communications Director for President Trump for 11 days, also the host of the Open Book podcast. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
All right, so you've become a critic of the former president since your time with him. What do you think I got right and wrong in what I just said?
Well, I'd like to start with the police officer's tragedy,
Sure.
if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I think that the laws that are in place have damaged the city. They have weakened the safety standards for our police officers. And I think it's absolutely insane at this point that our politicians are doing nothing about it.
All right, agreed.
So
100%
Donald
agreed.
Trump is helping that. I'm going to applaud Donald Trump for that. I'm going to be fair on that. What I don't like, though, is he knows better with the binding of Joe Biden in the back of the pickup truck. He knows better when he's speaking out against a judge's daughter. He knows that this is an act of bullying on his part, and he does it in a shotgun blast, Dan, to intimidate the people around him that are against him. And I think it's very, very damaging to the rule of law. Now, you're a champion of the First Amendment, so am I, but there's a hate speech pattern about this stuff that I really don't like. And it's disgraceful that a former president would show a picture like that on his Twitter feed or social media, Truth Social post of a president gagged and gagged like that. That's me.
Yeah.
You take the other side, you said it's okay.
I don't think it's okay. Look, I even said I wish that this wouldn't happen.
John Adams, you mentioned the founder.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We had Thomas Jefferson showing John Adams as a hermaphrodite. He was half man, half woman, and he proclaimed him a hermaphrodite. But he didn't have him gagged and bound. I don't remember any.
Oh, there was definitely violent imagery with the founding fathers regularly. But who cares? Look, that's them.
It's 2024.
Right.
Trump knows better. And, you know, fight the court cases without getting in trouble with the judges.
But you don't see any difference between
any other person in jail for the comments that he's being made. You know, the gag order, 10 gag orders. Trump's still whining. But any other person, Dan Abrams, me, we're in jail for that kind of nonsense.
So to you, there's no real difference between the two. I mean, I was distinguishing between the two, right? I'm saying I think that the comments about the judge's daughter are downright dangerous, right? And I'm saying it's, and that's the prism where I'm looking at it from. How dangerous is it? Joe Biden's got Secret Service protection. I'm not worried about some picture of him bound on the back of a truck.
It's dangerous because he's got a group of followers that by his own admission, he can shoot people on Fifth Avenue and they'll still be with him. It's dangerous because he's a leader and the fish stinks from the head down. If you're showing imagery like that, there could be a voter or an acolyte of Donald Trump that thinks that that's a license for violence.
But you can make that argument about video games, right? Like, oh, you know, they could be. You could get the wrong person.
This is like the Potter Stewart thing. Remember what he said about pornography?
Yes.
I know it when I see it. Okay, and I know it when I see it. I don't like it, and I think it's wrong. But there's no class left in our political discourse. I got that. And, you know, Chris made a comment before the show started about the Democrats have a lot of legislative accomplishments that they could be putting forward that have helped common men and women. And for some reason, they're not doing that. And the other thing the Democrats are not doing, they're not reaching out to the dissidents in the Republican Party that could help them, because they're so afraid of the woke left. You know, they don't want to reach out to a Mark Esper. They don't want to reach out to a guy like me because they're afraid of their coalition. They're afraid they're going to break their coalition by broadening the coalition. I think it's going to be trouble for them in November if they don't rethink the strategy.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.